All right. Hi, guys. Erin Nicole here on the Move Happy Movement podcast and vlog. If you're watching on YouTube, we've got a very special guest today on the show, Dion. We met through happenstance. I'm very excited that you are being willing to be open and be real with our audience. For those that don't know the story, or maybe this is the first time you're watching the show, we're all about positivity and lifting people up and helping to empower you to find happiness from within, whatever that means for you. Maybe you're the next president, maybe you're the next, five-star janitor in your school system, maybe you're the next top level teacher, principal, military officer, wherever it is for you. We hope that today's story inspires you to be great at wherever it is that you choose to allocate your time. So for those that don't know you, don't know your story, let's talk all the way to the beginnings. What was Dion like as a little kid?
Quiet,
Hmm.
withdrawn, shy.
Okay.
Didn't find my actual spirit until I actually started playing sports at 7, playing
Hmm.
basketball. So
Okay. At 7 years old.
yeah, yeah. So that's when I kind of found my just a wake up call or outlet, whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's my way of doing my thing without having to speak, or I could just be myself on a basketball court.
I love that. That's awesome. What position did you play, if you don't mind me asking?
Point guard, leader all day and
That's awesome. All right. So elementary school, what were you like in elementary?
like I said, I was quiet,
Hmm.
but I was one of those kids that didn't speak up. So yeah, I used to wet on myself a lot in class because I never would raise my hand to ask the teacher if I could leave to go to the bathroom. So I just always hit and just hitting smart, but never let people know how smart I was. So yeah, it was just always at that time just being invisible.
And did you like being invisible, or did you feel like that was who you were at that time?
To be honest, I didn't know exactly who I was.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is what the people around me, the adults, was telling me who I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was pretty, I was small, I was petite, I had long hair. So I was just doing whatever they told me to do. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know exactly who I was or where I was going with anything. So
Mm-hmm.
just being outside playing naturally, that's the only thing that felt good. Throwing rocks, climbing buildings, standing on roofs when I'm not even supposed to be in it.
How did you get on a roof? And how old were you?
I was actually 7 years old by elementary, Houston Elementary. So in the gate, hit the wall, jump the gate,
Mhm.
and the roof was like not that high.
Mhm.
And I would climb on there and just sit there.
You were using your point guard skills and all your basketball.
Didn't even know that at that point. I was just finding peace.
Hmm.
Didn't even really know what peace was all about. But I was just, and I would just, you know, have things just running in my mind, not sure what it was,
Hmm.
what I was feeling. I just felt free, you know.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
For those that want to feel free right now, that maybe are feeling like they're stuck indoors, not being respected, if they're in the school system, what's some words of advice you could give them?
Um, prayer always.
Mm.
And I was praying and didn't even know I was praying. And God was watching over me when I didn't even know God was watching over me.
Did you know God in that time frame in your life? Did you have a connection?
No, I did not.
Okay.
We went to Catholic church, but that was only for Easter or a funeral
Okay.
or a marriage. But to actually be in church, on a Sunday on a regular and be in the Word.
Okay.
Nope.
That's great advice, I think, to encourage people, whatever their faith system is, to plug in, get connected with other people. I think that's great. That's sound advice.
Yeah, whatever, whatever, whatever your creator is, whatever name you go by.
Mhm.
And they used to, in my day, back in the day, they say God always take care of babies and fools. And I think I was a baby and also a fool at the same time.
Mhm.
Just all over the place, not really sure about who I am and what I'm doing and why I feel this way, why I feel different, why I look different, why I'm not. Even though everybody's, oh, you're so pretty, you so this, you so that, it wasn't in my cards.
Wasn't in your cards. Let's talk about that. So next level up, middle school or junior high? What were you like
Junior high school, yeah, kind of came into this little superstar status.
with the basketball?
Yeah, took over. So being a seventh grader, and it just took over. We started running games on the court, softball, shortstop,
Mhm.
leader, softball championships. Like I just kind of took over,
Mhm.
and when that happened, kind of left my education to the side. Even though I was always an A student, it got to the point where I wasn't really thinking about my education anymore. I was just enjoying the attention that I didn't get at home.
Mm.
Enjoy the attention from people that just friends,
Mhm.
you know, all acclamations of scoring points,
Mhm.
not having to really go to class because you're the star. So yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. So I kind of now my education dropped, even though
Okay.
people don't know this about me. Like, yeah, Shakespeare, opera, those are my hidden talents that I used to read. Poetry, poems, and history. Like, yeah, was my hidden thing that I kept
Mhm.
myself as my secret nerd.
That's cool. I like that. And when you started saying about, skipping out in class and things because you were the superstar, it made me think about my own and also hanging out with friends, socializing. I
Right.
feel like that was like a great time to hang with friends. Like school was there so we could socialize with people. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
I felt like for me at least.
seventh grade, right? So the way they had it separated, the seventh graders take their lunch at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And then eighth graders take their lunch at 12 o'clock, and then ninth graders take their lunch at 1 o'clock. So I took lunch 11, 12, and 1.
That's how we do it.
But science, but science was my thing. Like I knew the whole periodic chart by heart.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. Like I really knew chemicals like it was nothing.
Interesting. When did you learn that? What age did you learn the
I
periodic
don't know. It just came to me naturally when I got in junior high school. It just came to me naturally.
You just had a science class and you were like,
yeah, yeah.
I know how to make a bomb. Just kidding. Yes. Just kidding. Just kidding. Kids, don't. Don't.
Not make a bomb. But I can make a broomstick though.
Make a make some super glue or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
it was crazy. Like, my art teacher, her name is Miss McCray,
Okay.
and I actually get into primary colors and not knowing why I love colors, and just mixing colors and listen to her playing Porgy and Bess and learning all about tenor and different languages of music. And
In your art class?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like
I
that.
just sit with her.
I want to meet her. Is she still alive, you think?
Not sure. And,
Look her up. She'll be our next guest.
it's just weird, I mean, one thing I know how to type. That's crazy, right? But I can't type on the computer for it worth a damn now. But my mother was is instilled in me, because that's what back then you had to learn how to type.
Yeah.
So
I took a typing class too in ninth grade.
yeah, well, I had a typewriter for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
as a gift. The old one.
Your fingers were like really strong for basketball from the.
Yeah, and I was doing shit. Back then I was doing like 80 words per minute with 3 errors.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
that's
I was in the 90s. No.
that's in the 80s.
All right, so junior high was lots of hanging with friends, socializing, a little typewriting.
Yeah,
High school, what was high
cut a
school?
lot of-
Or were you like?
High school, confused in high school.
Mhm.
Um,
What part of the world were you in high school?
actually, I did play basketball, but it wasn't my world anymore.
Okay.
I was withdrawn.
You
Sat
were
on
with,
I sat on the bench. I didn't want to be the superstar anymore.
how come?
I didn't know who I was. Started looking at females different. Started looking at life different, and I didn't know exactly who I was and where I fit in.
Mhm.
You know, so where I probably could have been, like they used to say back then when I was in playing in 6th grade, they was like, "Oh man, you know, eventually it's gonna be a WNBA. You could be a star, and you could actually play in the league." When I got out of high school, didn't care about basketball.
You had lost your drive for it.
Lost it.
Did something happen to you that made you lose it, do you think?
Um, the freedom to be able to get on 3 buses to go to high school and finally have freedom without
Oh,
being under your parents' thumb all the time.
3 buses.
Yeah, yeah. Used to get up 4 in the morning, had to be in my first bus at 6 a.m., catch 3 buses to get to school on time.
Wow. That wouldn't be fun to have basketball practice on top of that.
No, I did. But basketball was fun. The practice was fun, but the games wasn't fun. Well, looking at the chili was fun.
Were
I
Were
sat
the-
on the end of the bench just to look at the chili.
were the people the same and you added more, or was it like a whole new group of kids?
Whole group, different group.
Okay.
I could have in junior high school. I actually went to H.D. Woodson
Okay.
and been with everybody that I grew up with.
Okay.
I needed something different. I need to feel different. I need to start over. So I actually went to school zones out of my where I grew up, out of my comfort zone.
So you didn't have social support that you were used to at school.
I did, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't want
new.
it. I didn't need it because I was starting a new chapter, just trying to figure it out for myself.
Okay.
Because everyone has been guiding ever since I was little. Since I was born, so I could read. People have been feeding me, dressing me, telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what I need to do, what I had to do. So when I went to high school, I chose my own high school. I had to test it to actually get it. To get there, I just
You
couldn't
did
just
test
go. Yeah, I had to score.
So it was like an advanced
Yeah,
program.
yeah, I had to score. Yeah, I went to Theodore Roosevelt in my with vocational high school and Burdick High School, which was actually at that time when computers were just happening.
Okay.
So it was data processing and IT when we started early in the game.
So the computers were like
Big,
like house size.
When it was, yeah, Michael it is. And matter of fact, the program back then was Basic. That was the name of the
That was the name of it?
Basic.
You're basic.
Basic. That was the name of the program. It was Basic, right? So, but then I got away from. I wish I would have stayed in it, but I got away from computers. Is being born, female. You are taught that you have to type or you have to dress a certain way. You're not the one to repair it. You're not the one to connect it. That's not you. You're not smart enough. All you're supposed to do is just type what someone gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they taught me. So I got away from it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to be told what to do.
Didn't know that, but at that time didn't know that IT is gonna be what it is now. I
Yeah.
could not foresee the future.
Yeah, none of us could have seen the
Yeah,
growth.
but just you had to have people that believe, to take you push more and push further. And it took a long time for me to even start doing that. Playing basketball, it just kind of was just the avenue, be able to wear my gym shorts, put my hair in cornrows,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of have that boy, no judgment,
No judgment on the court.
right? No judgment. Didn't have anything to do with sexuality. It was just about being human and finding myself. So kind of graduated from basketball and shifted to softball.
In high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And being a shortstop, Mr. Power, he passed away. He was my
Was your
coach.
coach?
Yeah,
What was he like?
Man, the coolest dude ever. Like he embraced me. There was no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no when I played basketball in high school, we actually used to have, which Mr. Carlton was was the best coach as far as educating me for the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because basketball was a career for us. So we had to dress for success before we got on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I probably would have loved it more if I probably was able to wear a pantsuit, but he required us to wear dresses and heels.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
Kind of old fashioned.
that was, I think that was his way because he was a man trying to groom young women to be, yeah, you could play ball, but at the same time, you could still have a femininity about yourself. And I think that's what he was trying to set. And not only that, he took us, we played ball, which no places in DC was doing this. He took us to New York City, and we didn't play black basketball teams. We played predominant white basketball teams to learn the culture, to learn the game, to understand how to switch it up and not speak so ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had said the world is full of different people in different colors. So I think that was his goal, which to prepare us for that. So it actually did because I actually ended up going to junior college was predominantly it was all white. I was the only black person on the basketball team.
Wow, let's talk about that experience for you.
It's weird, right? Because when they go to take the pictures, they had to find because I don't know some reason their camera could take the black because I was the only black person, so you would have to find a special light so I could blend with all of my white teammates.
Were they trying to adjust the shade of you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It was. I didn't understand it.
You didn't know why they were doing that?
No, didn't understand it. Didn't get it.
Wow.
I was just thinking like maybe you don't know how to fucking take pictures. That's where I was at with it. But it was racism and discrimination was all over my head. I just felt when I just see people, I just love people regardless. Like I'm not judging for what you have or what you don't have, and if you didn't have it, if I had it, I would empty my pockets and give it to you. And I got scrutinized about that because I used to have gold chains, money in my pocket because my grandmother used to always make sure I had. And it's funny, ever since I was little, she used to always make sure I had $10 in my pocket.
Really? How come? For the bus?
No, no bus. That was her way of showing that you can have money. You can be different. You can be who you are.
Mhm.
Black people evolve,
Mhm.
and yeah, we go to the ice cream truck or to the curry out,
Uh-huh.
and I will buy everybody who didn't have anything to eat. I will buy everybody
You would
lunch,
give it away.
give it all away, and then I would have no money. And then my grandmother would like to come back home from school. It's funny because she was like, "That go my little grandson." She would say, "That go my grandson." He will give everything: gold chains, earrings, shoes, whatever people didn't have. I just give it to
Mhm.
them. I don't understand why.
You wanted to be
I
friends
just
with
that's just no. That's just who I've been. Like you don't even gotta be my friend. I want to know you from nobody. And you standing there, you hungry, I'm gonna feed you. You know, you wear my size shoes. If you don't have those shoes on, I'm gonna give them to you. This is
You
who
have
I
a
am.
generous spirit.
Yeah, I don't know why. This is the way I've been born.
Love that.
Been scrutinized about it. That I give, that I just give too much. That's the way I was born. I can't change it. I can't change it. I can't turn the clock. I can't shut it down. This is who I am. Always have been. People hungry. Money, I had money to buy lunch. They hungry. They have no lunch, no money. Give them my food. Always been like that since day one. Yeah. And my grandmother started understanding it, and she didn't change me for that.
I love that. When you said she always gave you $10, it made me think of my grandma. She would always give us for our birthdays and Christmas three $2 bills. So it was like a tradition, like all the grandkids had that. I'm not sure if she did that to make sure we had money or if it was just her way of like small little gifts for us. But
But
that's cool.
I think when grandparents do things, even though they don't really share it all, because I am a firm believer of listening to my elders. Always have
Yeah,
been.
me too.
My mom has like the best. I'll call all of my godmothers because they all had a hand in looking out for me in one way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had a special love for my elders. No disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to their wisdom. They all had a story to tell. And if you sit back and you listen to the story, you'll find some confidence and education.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've always done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've done that too. I love that. All right. So junior college, what did you study in college?
nothing, drinking,
You heard that. You heard that, folks.
nothing, nothing. My education, when I realized that, hey, my mom ain't dead and tell me to go to bed, you know? And yeah, and I have, and I'm just gonna be real, my good white friends, Stacy, you out there, Stacy Johnson. She's actually a big coach at Corning Community College. She won in several championships. And yeah, her mom said, "Oh yeah, you my adopted black child."
Y'all play basketball together?
We play basketball and softball together.
That's
And
awesome.
our friendship is timeless. And even though we don't really talk to each other as much,
Mm-hmm.
when I get up there, or we still hit each other on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and we still have that love for each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was it had nothing to do with color. Cause it's funny, cause she be like, "What's up, my nigga?" And I'd be like, "What's good, my nigga?" Like we just, or I'd be like, "What's up, Crocker?" And she'd be like, "What's up, Crocker?" Like we
Mm-hmm.
just go back and forth, like that was our thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was no disrespect, and it was just always looking out for each other,
Mm-hmm.
24/7. The parents really had my back when my mom couldn't afford to get up to New York. They made sure I had food. Yeah, snowstorms I knew shit about. Blizzards, knew nothing about. Being upstate New York, knew nothing about that. And yeah, they will. Yeah, make sure I had. They made sure they just loved me honestly.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I did. developed a lot of friendships, a lot of different understandings of culture.
Mhm.
Once again, had nothing to do with sexuality. It was just friendship and family.
Mhm.
And we got in this old deuce in the corner, right? It was all five of us, and the car was smoking. We didn't care. We just kept putting cooler there, right? And we drove from Elmira all the way to Washington D.C. Car smoking,
Oh my goodness.
and we stopped in between.
Like the vehicle was smoking?
Yes,
Like the engine?
yes, yes. We got pulled over. It was tickets. We got a ticket for the smoking and the speeding.
You got a ticket for your car being on fire?
For smoking, yes. Pollution.
Oh
When
my
we got,
goodness.
when we
How
got
about help us out, officer? We need some water, coolant.
So we got to Pennsylvania. I'm in the back, right? So my friend Jackie was driving. I'm in the back. I'm drunk as hell. I smell like a whole big of wine, beer, liquor, everything, and weed and everything. I'm smelling. So I'm in the back, and with all four white girls, and I'm the only black person, and the car is smoking. And police pulled us over, and they was like, pull that white car. They was like, officer, y'all don't clean, even though we was all drunk. Straightened up, officer. Yes, how do we do? Like we do. And niggas got real proper all of a sudden. And he was like, well, you know your car's
That's when you
smoking.
lean
Yeah,
forward in
they
your
got
seat.
the straight posture and all that. I'm in the back like this. I'm down. Like I'm out almost.
You were brought to attention.
Yeah.
Sounds like little.
I was listening when I was. I just saw that posture. And I'm short. I'm 5. I'm like 5'4". So they all like 5'9" and more. And they tall. And I'm just sitting there like this, slouched down, and they just straightened up. And they was like, officer, how can we help you? Thank you for stopping us over. We appreciate it. And they stopped putting on your license, and they was like, he's like, do we have anything in the trunk that we have to worry about? It's like, no. Officer, we do not. But the whole time it's like wine coolers and beers under the clothes.
And you were in college?
Yeah. And they just had my back, and it was weird. And then when we got to DC, and I couldn't even remember how to get to my mother's house because she had just bought her house. And
In
I,
DC?
yeah, and I never lived there, so I didn't know how to get there. So, and I'm drunk too, so I'm just make a left, make a right, make a left, make a right. This, if we didn't have GPS back then, so we make a left or make a right.
Yeah, GPS hasn't been out that long. I had a TomTom in graduate school in 2010. Like my dad bought it for me.
So we ride around, anybody know about DC? So we ride around 495 Beltway in circles. And they was like, can you just pick an exit?
They start getting irritated with you.
No, they was having fun because we was drinking. They was like, pick an exit. And I was like, oh, I think that's the exit. And then we end up in my mother's house, and she sees I'm with all these, which is not natural to see a lot of white women that's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all 5'9", 6 feet, 200 pounds, like built country style, and strong. And I'm this little one in the middle, 105 pounds. And yeah, she's so towering over me. And just like, everybody coming in and taking over, and she was just so happy to see me happy and to know that they had my back. And it was just like when we got there, the car smoking.
It was still smoking. It didn't quite light on fire, but it was getting close.
The steam from the radiator, all that was like hot. And coming, I guess, the exhaust pipe, black smoke coming out the back. And yeah, so my uncle came over. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can fix you up." I don't know what the hell he did. Didn't ask a question, but I know we was good to go by the time we decided to get back to New York. So that was one of the experiences that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, just
what I captured from that, just from listening to the story, is you've got a deep level of friendship with people that have your back, super loyal. and you might get into some crazy things that we wouldn't recommend to the children these days, but you survived it.
But most importantly, to see that it's not about color.
Yep.
It's not about sexuality. You just able to have a friendship where you open and honest about who you are, and you know that they have your back.
Yeah.
And that's when I started really finding out my sexuality.
Okay.
I started,
In junior college?
yeah,
Okay. Let's talk more about that.
yeah. Let's see.
If you feel comfortable.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to begin because um, I don't want to come across like I'm a mad hater because I'm not. I had
You were born as a
female,
female.
and I had some great boyfriends,
Okay.
and loved them dearly. Their friendship definitely genuine to me,
Mhm.
and I appreciated them. So I'm not coming across as like, ugh. No, that's not where I'm at.
It was like a different stage of your life.
It's no, it's a different stage because it's I was born differently, but I just didn't know why. And nobody didn't have an answer for me. I didn't even have an answer for me. I didn't even know what question to ask. So then in college, uh, being up there, sexuality didn't mean anything. It was just who you are. They were openly gay, they were lesbian, their parents understood. And I think that was something different from the white culture and the black culture.
Okay.
Black culture is a stigma of being gay or being lesbian. Whereas the white culture, being
More
around
accepted.
them, more accepted. They were cool, they were out, they were open. Their parents knew, like they were just living life.
Okay.
And I was just kind of like the one in the background, just kind of playing the cymbals and just going with it. And just kind of basking in that thing about being able to be happy. And but then, I dated a white girl, first girlfriend. She was like, I just realized when you get in a relationship with it's something different because our cultures wasn't really clicking.
Okay.
Even though I loved her and she loved me, it just wasn't hitting that way.
How come?
Um, maybe um, the way we speak, how we move, the things we eat. It was just different because as I started getting older and started becoming freer, I started coming back to where I was born and raised. I started coming in more to my DC and
To your roots.
yeah, and kind of yeah, everything that I was hiding from, I started becoming.
Okay.
And I explained it to her. I explained it to her. Her name is Susan. She's a sweetheart, and her friends were sweethearts, and her family was sweethearts, and they love me dearly, and I love them too. It's just at that time was caught in the middle with religion too, about God, and He He created that gave me life for a reason. So I battled with my whole thing with God about why, and I realized that yeah, I want to have my own kids that look like me, bleed like me, see me. You know, Originally I just wanted a boy and that be that. One boy and then it's a wrap. But I cut my college career short
Okay.
and I got married early.
Okay.
to my best friend. And yeah, my daughter came first. And I wasn't ready. Let's just say that. Didn't even know how to plait hair. Didn't even know how to dress well. Let alone put a pack on. And God prepared me for it. And I named her Destiny. Is having her open my eyes up to that I can be who I am, but at the same time, you can still hold on to your feminine side, embrace who you are, and you can treat women with respect and and love, and not be that typical butch or back then butch or dom. You don't have to act like a dude to be a dude. You can be yourself right away. So
I think that's a very key thing that you just said. You don't have to act like a certain way. You could be yourself.
Yeah.
Somebody is listening to the show or watching the show on YouTube right now that needed to hear you say that.
Yeah, you can just be yourself. And funny story is that came home from college, got married early, had her, and yeah, just trying to figure out, didn't know what to do where I was at with it. I was just all over the place, And our window unit went out.
You what?
The window unit in our apartment, because we didn't have any air conditioning, so we just had one window unit.
Okay.
It went out. And all I could think is my baby is sweating. She's laying on the bed, it's hot. We need to get air conditioning in one room. And it was just me and her in there. And I pulled this window unit out. And I was still, now I'm telling you, I was only 105 pounds. So pulled this big window unit out. And I had a butter knife. And I just looked at it. And I was like, wait, maybe if I just clean it, it'll be okay. So I grabbed the kitchen butter knife, pulled this window unit out. I'm struggling. She laying in the bed, sleep, sweating. And I take this unit out, and I was like, oh, it's dirty. Didn't know how to clean it, but we had dish detergent. So I dish detergent on it, put the rag. So I'm wiping it down, take the butter knife, tighten up the screws, right?
With your butter knife, that's so resourceful.
Right. Not knowing why I'm doing it, I just did it. I just know when my baby is hot.
Yeah, you're trying to solve that problem.
Right. Now slammed it back in the window, plugged it up, and boom. And air conditioner start coming.
And that was the start of your career?
No, my mom called me. Because she was about to bring the fans over. Because I didn't know, because we didn't have air conditioning apartment. And she's about to bring all these fans over. And then she called me and I said, Mom, I got it working. And she said, I looked at this commercial, nigga tech. Maybe you should do heat and air conditioning.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And I was like, well, females, and she was like, no. I seen a lady on a telephone pole. So now women are doing men's jobs now. You can do this. And this is the early 90s. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was like,
shout out to Mom.
Right. She said you could do this. So yeah, so I got up the next day, had my baby chest, pregnant with the boy at the time, and I wrote. And didn't really start thinking about my sexuality because I was a parent first. And my main thing is I wanted my daughter to know that she can do whatever she want to do, whenever she want to do it. That was my main thing, because people always push boys to be the best worker, to be the best athlete. And I wanted my daughter to know that she can do it all too.
That's right.
And
Mhm. I love that.
yeah, so she
Parent first, family
married
first.
first, family first. Um, unfortunately, doing that when they were younger, that's when I started doing HVAC and started being in the field. Women were starting to actually take notice in my uniform, and I had the cornrows straight back,
Mm-hmm.
hat on, all that. Females started they like breaking their equipment just so I could come back to their house.
Really?
Yeah, they were writing notes and looking for me, but I wasn't checking for them. I didn't get it. Didn't get it. And
What do you mean they were writing notes? Like they wanted you to?
like I never read the letter, but their father found the letter. I was married at the time. Found the letter because he was washing my clothes, and the letter was in my uniform. And it was this long letter about how she found me attractive. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's a turn of events.
yeah, she wanted to take me out and all that.
But you didn't read it? You didn't even know it was in your uniform?
No, I knew it. I folded it up, but I never. She had it, somebody had you something.
Yeah, you're
But
like, I'll check it out later.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it was kind of like because I'm in my mind. I'm so naive. At that time. I'm so naive to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking like that was that type of letter. So yeah, so I didn't even open it, but yeah, I got an eye opener. Came home one day after working hard, and that letter was on the table. And, yeah, it definitely let me know that I need to do something. I'm not happy, and I'm not, making their father happy, and he loves me dearly, and he did from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So,
but he had some trust issues after that, probably.
Not really.
No.
'Cause he didn't really care. He just wanted me. Just wanted me next to him. Like, and it was my thing where I prayed on it then and didn't even know I was praying because I didn't understand nothing about the Bible and really going to church. I just know he deserved better. He deserved better than me.
It's such a mature thing to say.
Yeah, he deserved better than me. And my kids at that time, I made a decision that yeah, it was best for them to live with him. So I was all over the place. I had
Were you working a lot of hours or what?
working a lot of hours,
Okay.
bringing the money in. I was the breadwinner.
Is that why you say that he deserved better?
He deserved better because sexually I wasn't there for him. We had
Okay.
a beautiful relationship, our friendships, and we did a lot of things together, but it was more like do things like playing basketball. And we was on softball leagues together, and we
Like
used to dress
activities.
alike and wear the same tennis shoes. And I just felt like, he deserved a woman that really will love him and respect who he is and give him what it is that he actually deserved. Maybe that was selfish of me, thinking I knew the answer for him. Because I never asked. I just made that
You
decision.
just made the decision.
Yeah, so maybe that was selfish on my part. You know, I never asked. I just made that decision. And I don't know, in some parts of all this, I felt like I hurt my daughter more than help her. Because everyone, when you're supposed to be a mom, you're supposed to be that mother figure. And I wasn't that one that holds you, caught you, and Now it's like, yeah, you cut or you cry. Get up, let's make it, let's go.
You had like more masculine energy.
Yeah, like get up, let's go. Put shoes on, let's make it. You walking, you going with me, let's go.
I have a friend that reminds me of that. And I think people can relate that are listening or watching the show to you. We're put in boxes, right? You're a boy or you're a girl, right? Until the last few years, no one in society recognized that there are people born with both, or there are
Yeah.
people born with, the spirit inside them that's
Yeah,
opposite
true
from
that.
what they
I think-
were identified as.
Yeah, I
with
think when my
kids.
dad named me, I think he knew something. Because Dion is a unisex thing.
It is, yeah.
So I think he knew something. And actually, um, he is high. And I look like him, by the way. He was high on heroin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he
When
said
when you were born, or
all
the
my
time?
yeah, all my adult life locked up, all that.
Wow.
But he had this conversation with me because we used to get up with each other on New Year's Eve and we used to spend our time together.
Hmm.
But that was our thing. And him nodding off in his high, he was just like, you know, you don't have to be who people want you to be. You know you can be yourself, right?
Mm.
You know you don't have to do all these things that people are expecting you to do. You could be yourself. And he was so high, I just thought he was just rambling, not taking in consideration that he was actually telling me, speaking truth.
Hmm.
And I look back on it now and I was like, damn, he was telling me, and he told me this back when I was 17 years old. And he died shortly after that.
Mm. What a powerful memory to have before he left this world.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He definitely told me it's just like it's okay to be you. And he was speaking about same sex thing without putting labels on it or being different.
Hmm.
He was just saying it's okay to be you. Like he never put a label on it or help me out or explain what it is that I am supposed to be.
Hmm.
He just said it's okay that you don't have to live by other people's standards.
Hmm.
You got to figure out how to say no. And I never learned how to say no. And still to this day, I still don't know how to say no.
You're working on it.
I'm not doing a very great job with saying no, but I don't know.
You could say yes to you.
I'm still working on saying yes to me, but I think I'm doing a great job
Yeah.
in the last 8 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been saying yes to me. And you still a parent first, when you bring life into this world. And you always say you don't want your kids to be dependent on you, and somehow they're not dependent on you. You become dependent on them.
I hear that from a lot of parents and
Yeah,
grandparents.
so you be clutching, you be clutching on it because it's like a prized possession.
Hmm.
So when I look at my seeds that look just like me, those are my original trophies of life.
Mm.
All the basketball trophies, all the awards I got, high school, college, and records I broke. Those things mean nothing.
Don't matter.
Money means nothing to me. Uh, Doing what God sent me to do means everything to me.
And what did God or the Creator or Allah, whatever people's deity label, what do you believe you were sent here to do?
Uh, Create life. I got one to curry life, and I got one that makes life. And after that, there's help. I'm human.
Hmm.
And this love, no matter, you don't know what people are going through or
That's right.
why their day is bad.
Hmm.
just absorb the energy and figure out how to make it better. You don't know why. Not to say that I'm sitting here like I'm perfect, because I do have a mean streak and I do have pressure points.
Mm-hmm.
When people have forced you to be something that you're not, and then you hear certain phrases, it does trigger a anger point in me.
Mm-hmm. I can appreciate that too. It's like, who wants to be restrained or controlled? When I get in those moments where I feel like someone's trying to do that, then I'm like, or trying to
I'm quite
affect
sure
my
you
family.
understand what I'm saying, being a woman in a man's field, and for have guys to talk down to you or act like your brain is so small
Yeah,
and minute, like you can't hold a thought.
yeah,
Like all you're supposed to be is a smile and
yeah.
breath.
Or here's $5, go get me a Coke at the grocery store.
Facts.
That happened 2 weeks ago,
Exactly.
but that's all right. You're reminding me.
I reminded you of that because I've been through that.
Yeah,
Starting out in this field.
yeah. And for those listening and watching the show, he's talking about HVAC.
Yep.
That's the current day job.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about your journey in the career path. So what was that approximately timeline? Do you remember the year when your mom
Yep.
called you
Yep.
with the window?
1992.
Okay, so 1992. So you went to training shortly thereafter in 92?
Yeah.
And then you got hired on as
No, I did not get hired on right away.
Okay.
Went to school. Even though I graduated, I found love in HVAC. That was my sanctuary. That was my peace.
Mm-hmm.
That slowed all the drinking down, all the partying down. Like I found faith in HVAC, and me doing heated air conditioning actually saved my life. That was really dangerous and reckless, and I didn't give a damn about nothing. And me finding peace in that. But even though I graduated top of my class, 4.0.
Wow. Let's say this one more time for those that might have missed what you just said, because you said some very powerful things. You were drinking, you were getting into dangerous things, and then you found your passion career.
Yep.
That is what you were designed to do.
Yep.
And it stopped the drinking?
Yep. Started going to school. My baby at that time, 2 years old, she strapped on my chest. Baby boy.
In your class?
Nah.
You bring him to school?
No, by the blessing of God. I found the daycare because she was so advanced going to the bathroom, because I stayed at home with them.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so advanced with her speaking and going to the bathroom, and he was right behind her, following behind her.
Mm-hmm.
That
she was training him up.
He didn't even know it. He just wanted to copy everything she did. He just wanted to do it.
That's how I was with my brothers too.
And I found a daycare at Eastern High School. And it's sad because I don't even know the name of that school or who the teacher is or how I even got there.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We can look that up later.
God just put me right there. And I get on the bus with them, and he would catch the bus with me because I would have to take him to his grandmother's house.
And how old were your kids around?
She was 3.
3.
Okay. And they're 18 months apart.
Okay.
But he was so advanced. She was like, we know they don't take little kids, but he's advanced. He could start staying.
You said that?
No, the teacher said that he was so advanced, following behind his sister.
You were getting protection and provision.
Didn't even know it. Yeah, didn't even know it. And
I love that.
And I was going to school. Yeah, and I was dropping them off at this daycare.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know her from Eve. And here I am, dropping them, trusting her with my babies. The daughter is very smart. She can tell, she will be able to speak to say if somebody heard her or somebody did something wrong. Oh, she was very clear on that. Little mean joint, little hands just be balled up like this.
She's around the corner. She might talk later.
But yeah, it was him following behind her. And God just was watching over me, and I never knew it. Never knew it. Never knew it. Never felt it. And HVAC was a savior, and I was able to go to school worry free. And their father was, like I said, he was best friend. He was very instrumental in picking them up after school, and you know, we trying to provide, even though we were young, we were 21, 22,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing nothing we're doing. We just learning on the fly. And yeah, I mean, HVAC became became my love. And I just never thought that I'd find anything that I would enjoy doing work wise.
Mm-hmm.
Went to college, everybody, oh no, you need to get into computers. Had offers in the government because I did the clerical tests, all that, 100 words, no errors, all that. So I could have, out of high school, I could have went straight in the government and been
Mm-hmm.
making top dollar
Mm-hmm.
government wise. And that just wasn't me. The
Yeah.
dress was never me at all.
So, at what point did you have a shift in the career where it took a turn?
Well, it took a turn since day one. Being a black female in the HVAC field, it was unheard of. It was heard of to be a white woman in the field, but what they did back then, they used to just make uh, white women do engineering where you're not really hands on, you're not really lifting, you're just doing things like heat load calculations, where you're still kind of girly, you got your dress on,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a sales pitch,
Okay.
pretty much. And I wasn't going for that. Wanted to know everything. Wanted to know from the ground up everything. So when I graduated, um, a lot of companies, yeah, they wasn't feeling it. They didn't feel my education. They felt like me being a female, first thing they ask you, try to keep it as clean as possible. Who did you have sex with? Or what family member do you know that puts you in this position?
Wow. Wow. That's
So
horrible.
yeah,
You were asked that in an interview.
in the interview, in the interview, in school, how are
In
you?
school?
Yeah, how do you just know these things? Like it's impossible. Like who you
They,
cheating off of?
they were jealous.
And
That's what
the
I
thing is,
that's what I
everybody
see.
in school, they were cheating off of me. Like I was so smart that my teacher at Lincoln Tech used my notes as a teacher tool when I graduated. And known fact, my son actually went to Lincoln Tech, but he chose auto mechanic. And when I went back to enroll him in, my picture is still up at the new Lincoln Tech.
Whoop, whoop.
And they wanted me to do a tour, and they actually wanted me to come back and teach.
That's awesome. See, you got options.
Yeah, having options, great, but having people break you down and your spirit, it kind of wears and tears on you. Even though you look strong, you feel strong,
Mm-hmm.
it's still pieces and tears of you that just give you that. I don't know if I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm cut out for that. I don't know if I had the energy for that.
You're kind of reminding me, I'm just like, I'm feeling really led to talk a little bit about my mom's story, different industry, but she's a professional opera singer, full ride music scholarship. And what she would tell me, she would always get solos. It was effortless for her.
Right?
That was her area of genius.
Get it.
But somewhere down the line, somebody probably cut her down too many times.
And I guarantee you, I bet
And
you,
she
nine
never
times
pursued
out
it
of
full
10,
time.
it was a man. Not looking at her full potential and allowing her to be her. And that's where the color lines go in at about when I say I'm human first,
Mm-hmm.
black second all day, black all day. I wear this color. I can't bleach it off, can't wash it off. I am who I am, but I'm human first.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, relating to you. Color has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an advocate of women fighting for their rights and being treated with the right respect. Even though now I'm legally male and on paper I can swing it real hard and get into this male role and and allow be chauvinistic or disrespectful, whatever it is that they do to kind of make themselves feel bigger.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not that person. Because when I look at my daughter, my grandbabies, I look at my mom, I look at my sister, I look at my nieces, and my grandparent, my grandmother, these are all strong women
Mm-hmm.
who have raised me.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I? Because God gave me the opportunity to be male. Who am I to turn the other cheek? Because now I'm able to check the box male.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
You have not forgotten where you came from.
No, because I'll be just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Just because I can check the box male, pass for male, I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And God created me and back to my daughter again, she actually brought God into my life recently.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The spirituality, we're adding a lot more of that into the content of Move Happy. So what prompted her to do that? Or what she could tell that part.
I think whether she wanted to tell it or not,
Mm-hmm.
I think because we were estranged for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
from 4 to 8, 17,
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't miss the whole gap of love and relationship and all the things that she been through and all the things that I was going through trying to figure out who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed the gap of me just trying to show her that you could be strong and you could just do. Where I miss the intimacy, the love, the warmth,
Mm-hmm.
the hug, the care, the tears. I missed all that because I was just so busy wanting her to be so strong and want her to fight and not allow people to tell her that she can't do nothing. Like you could do whatever you want to. You don't need a mind. Well, you do need a mind to create a baby. But then again, the way God raped her down is see that you spurt it and you can
there's
be who
doctor's
you
offices
are.
that can help you out with that.
Yeah. Life changed, but who knew? I mean, going back then, you as a female, you get a certain age, you get married, you have kids, you do whatever it is your husband asks you to do. But who know here we are in this whole new millennium, and things have changed. And I didn't know I was changing with it. And in that process, I haven't heard. I think she helped me more than I helped her.
Getting into the spiritual realm, connecting with your deity.
Spiritual realm, my identity, just loving myself, and just loving life. She's been my biggest supporter, my biggest fan since day one.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
My biggest fan. When I told her, hey, about the transition, and she was like, okay, like,
let's do this.
I'm gonna love you regardless. Like, what we doing? Like, why ain't nothing on nothing. So having her blessing, it meant a lot.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Everything. Yeah, it meant everything. And I regret not being with the label of what a mom is supposed to be. I regretted that. Didn't wear makeup, didn't wear dresses. didn't know how to do hair. So all those women characteristics, I didn't have that to pass on to them. Dated a lot of beautiful women along the way. They were able to pass something on to her. And I just felt like it would have been better coming from me.
Yeah.
You know.
But since you can't change the past, what are you enjoying most about your time with your daughter now?
The arguments. Because she challenged me every day.
That's
She
good.
challenged me to be better every freaking day.
She was advanced when she was 3 and she hasn't stopped.
Challenged me to be better every day. Yeah, like, oh, one day she just said, tired of you. You always complaining. I was like, I'm complaining. Like, damn, I'm really a complaint. You complain all the time. Complain. I'm like, damn. I was like, maybe I am a fucking complaint. I don't know. Like, maybe because I never had a voice.
Preach.
Never had a voice. So to her, yeah, it does come off as complaining. If she's my child, and I'm supposed to do for her, and she's doing for me. So yeah, when she said that shit, I was just like, hey. And yeah, just went to church with her. Never listened to gospel music, period. So somehow I know every freaking song now.
How long has it been since you started with the spiritual?
Spiritually, when I started transitioning, when I started going through the discrimination DC Superior Courts.
Yeah, you didn't talk at all about that. You want to talk?
Yeah, we get to that.
Okay.
I'm just on the spiritual realm right now.
What year was that?
When I started transitioning, 2015.
Okay, so it's been about 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, I just started praying. Just started praying to God every day. Help me be a better person. Simple prayers like that. Like I just want to be better. Wasn't even about God after the surgery. Can you wake me up? No, that wasn't the prayer. The prayer was help me be a better person. You allow me this opportunity to be me, battle. Help me be a better person. Like, let me be able to walk in a different light, be able to tell the truth, reveal to me what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. And he revealed it. Because, yeah, when I had to move my daughter, oh yeah, he definitely revealed it. You know, there's a lot of ugly truth, a lot of pain that need to come out. And it was a lot of, as a child, you know, she's not supposed to see what I'm going through because I'm an adult. She's a kid.
You're trying to stay strong.
And I'm as a parent, you're supposed to protect your kid and you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be able to provide. And I was not there. Financially, I was there. But emotionally, I was not.
Okay.
So living with her was the freaking out. And, you know, we broke down. It got ugly. We shed tears. And for the very first time, we actually gave each other a genuine hug.
I love it.
Yeah, we actually did. And yeah, and ever since then, it's been on my, just trying to get closer to God.
You're never too old to connect with your family, to reconnect. If you're listening to the show right now or you're watching it on YouTube and you're going through a tough season with your families, maybe you guys have gone through some frustrations, maybe you're about to separate, and you're listening to the show, listen to what Dion just said. Never too late. Never too late.
Never too late. As long as God you got breath in your lungs and air in your body, and you still have the mental capacity, it's never too late. Even if you don't have the words, you can have the hug to find a way to love. Even if you can't say it out your mouth, something as simple as a card. It's plenty of ways you can do it.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to do it, then you're not growing.
100%.
You know.
So, can we talk about the discrimination? Is that all right? So, you had shared with me, pretty terrible article. And the article is just the words on paper. That's very distant from the actual situation.
Yeah.
In the industry, right? In your
Yeah.
HVAC, in your dream career job, where you.
Yeah, the article and the guy that wrote the article, shout out to the Washington Blade for not being scared to shine away from telling my story, because to go against the big conglomerate called the law is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And for him to take that risk and put his career on the line to write that story, that was everything. And kind of validate me when I read the story, and it's painful at the same time. But to know that somebody that don't even know me was willing to stick their career out.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. But it made me fight. Even in your situation or anybody else's situation, it made me fight for other people who are not being treated well in the workplace. So I have to speak up.
Yeah, because you've been through it and you don't desire anybody else to go through it. That's, I think, humanity is treat others the way you desire people to treat you.
Yeah, human first. You know, I mean, working, you think working for the federal government and a DC law court, the courts, that they will follow the law, number one. Two, you would not be harassed or be discriminated against, because those what the laws are really fighting for. Slaves have been fighting for this all their lives. And to actually have it happen to you in 2010.
What happened?
Well, first part was my foreman.
Yeah.
He actually said this. Who do I know? Or how did I get this job? It's impossible for your resume to be this sharp. Who do you know? Or who's your family member that got you in to this position? And they thought my chief at the time, they thought I was his godchild, or I was related to him. And they gave me a real hard way to go. For the first 2 years, my foreman did not speak to me. At that time, DC Court was actually finalizing our community to actually get married.
Okay.
They was legalizing gay marriage.
In 2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
yeah, I remember that in grad school. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to hear all the gay jokes, all the lesbian jokes, all
directed towards you.
Not towards me, because they didn't know I was gay at the time.
Okay.
Because I do not or have not. What I do sexually is between me and my partner.
Yeah.
The only ones who know who I am or who I deal with sexually is my family and my kids, where I had to actually tell it, or the partner that I'm with. So, yeah, at work, I didn't, I got wear it on my shirt.
Yeah.
be who I am.
Yeah, legally they can't ask you and they shouldn't bring it up.
Whether they did or they didn't, it was just more you're a female and you black. You can't be this damn smart.
Mm. How'd that make you feel?
At that point, I was so freaking used to it.
Yeah.
And the money was so good for the money that I was used to making.
Mm-hmm.
The money was so good. I just kind of, fell into like the boys club.
So you were at that point, 2010, you were doing it for about 18 years? Does that sound about right?
No, longer than that, because my son at that time, 18, 19, I think. Yep, 18, 19.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were an expert at
Yep.
that point.
Yep. All across the board, from residential, like commercial to industrial, across the board. Yep. Plumbing, electrical, and I had all these under my hat.
Kept learning different skill sets.
Yeah. Because
you added value, you added leverage. That was our last episode
well,
of the show.
as a female, you always know when you're in a male dominant world, you always have to be above. You just can't be average. Unless you're just selling your boobs and you just want to do to look at you all day.
Yeah.
Which
there are people that do that. They make their money on OnlyFans.
Get your chips. How you get your chips? I'm not into get your coin. How you get your coin? Hey, I love strippers, by the way. I made a living on strippers. I might have put a lot of them through college. Yes, in a night, easily in a night, $500 to $1,000 in a strip club night.
So you weren't hurting in the career path financially. You were doing pretty good.
Nah, was not. Nah.
At what point did things shift for you negatively? Where you started going through this discrimination stuff?
Well, the discrimination thing was always been there.
Okay. Where you lost the job, that's what
it's just people like customers, judges, whoever I come across that I actually work for, they just fall in love with me as a person and the work because I'm always professional. So that's always kind of been my balance on how my financial situation always keeps flowing, even though I've been having a lot of hiccups with jobs, period. But with DC courts, pains me to say, but they brought in a white guy. Told him who I was, and I started transitioning. He started out cool, but he wanted to use me as a what they call it, a mule, as a snitch. To snitch on my other counterparts, my male counterparts.
Interesting.
On what they doing and what they not doing.
On the machines or?
Period. Well, were they working, not working, what's going in their building, or they take the lunch, whatever. Anything negative, he wanted me to report that back. And he even tried to bribe me, saying that he can get me a greater position. I was a 9 in the government. Anybody know about a 9?
Yeah, but he was, GS.
I was a JS9, which is more money than a GS. And he was trying to make me an 11. So he said, but that's not how it works in the government. In order for you to get a promotion, you have to present to Congress.
Oh.
On why you spending this money and why you create this position. But he thought I was stupid. I guess that was the ignorance of him being a white guy. He thought I was ignorant, like I don't know the law and I don't know the game, and I'm just not that bright.
It's interesting you say that because a couple years ago I was doing a networking call with a gentleman and he said, there's a lot of leaders that aren't very smart. They're just put in that position because they can talk to people.
Facts. Or people fear them for whatever reason. And that's what ended up happening. He used my foreman, who he was really originally trying to fire. and put me in his position. And when I would not snitch on my counterparts or go against my team,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, I took the L. I took a big L. Started out with small suspensions, 2 days here, then it went to 2 days, 10 days, and then it went to um
Because you wouldn't snitch on people, you got
yep,
suspended, so you didn't do anything wrong yourself. Wow, that's not cool at all.
and then it came to that because I was on testosterone, they started saying that um I started being more aggressive, that I'm a threat to myself.
Mm-hmm.
He was afraid of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a threat to what you call customers because you all know courts is public, everybody. And I'm a threat to them. And they actually really wrote a letter like they were afraid for their lives. Like I will actually
Wow.
come in the building and just started killing people.
And do you feel that you were to that point?
Never been that person. Never been that person. Not saying that I don't have a mean streak, but I've
Mm-hmm.
never been that person where I'll just
To be violent randomly.
violent randomly. If you haven't personally done anything to me, I won't personally do anything to you.
That's what I found when I worked in the psychiatric hospital. I worked in the long-term stay. They were there for at least 6 months. Some of them lived there for 30 years. They were protected under the mental health laws. Many of them had committed murders or assaults, but none of them messed with me. Because if you don't give a person a reason to disrespect you, treat them with dignity, they don't bother you. That's, I think, just general humanity.
Yeah, I'm going through all this. I do have now, like so quiet so long as a kid, born quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I do have trigger words or trigger statements
Okay.
that shuts me down, and it does, especially in the workplace,
Mm.
sends me to a boiling point where I just I won't think about money. I won't think about the long term. I just have to just separate myself from it. Like I just can't do it.
Okay.
So when you know people use the word being black, you can't ask a question, especially when you talk to a white person in my field. You can't ask a question because when you ask a question, they say you're complaining or you're not doing your job. In actuality, you're performing higher on a higher level than anybody else, regardless of
Yeah,
color.
you're getting into the details, fine micro details. That's
Yeah.
what elite people do
Yes.
in all industries.
Yes, you just yeah, they yeah, one, you can't ask questions, and two, you better not ask for more money. No matter how much money they make off your back, you better not ask. The moment you ask for more money, they start looking at you and start putting you under this small ass microscope that you don't even know. And it feels like little toothpicks stabbing you in your back. And you don't even know that you're being stabbed until you fired and your life is ripped away from you. And then you gotta figure out how to go home and tell, your family that there's no more money.
What year was that?
What year was it? But yeah, I mean, with the courts, it was 2019.
Okay.
They,
So right before the shutdown.
nah, it was a shutdown first. The shutdown.
Oh, in
first.
your area in DC, it was
Yeah,
already
it was
shut
federal.
down.
It's federal government shutdown.
Okay.
When we were under the, I think at that time Obama had did a shutdown, federal shutdown, because we was going through financially with the federal government, and while we were all off, because what they were doing was rotating the engineers. You work a day, you work a day, you work a day.
Okay.
Yeah, when I came back in December to work my day, yeah, I was hit with immediate and a 10-day suspension without pay. And it was this long ass letter about people are so scared of me and they threatened by me. So yeah, lost a lot of money.
Wow.
Uh, didn't have any support, even though I went to human resources. Uh, we didn't have a union then, but it was supposed to be. I was seeing a psychiatrist through federal government
Mm-hmm.
to make it through my day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was literally going to see her every day, and she was really
She good?
nice. Yeah, she was good to hear me out. Because it was plenty of times when I didn't really know how I was gonna make it through the day. Um, put a strain on my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my ex fiance, we had a life plan and we had a future what we was gonna do together. When all that came about, yeah, it put a serious strain to the point where I came home angry. She was angry. There was no love in the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money coming in the house.
Yeah, that's high stress.
Yeah, it was just tension on tension on tension, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a break in the fact that they put me on administrative leave and they
For
were
nothing that you did. Other people's perception of you.
this is the perception what they said I did on paper. Me and my coworkers, because we used to work on Saturday, work on the weekends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mind you, we used to have Christmas party, alcohol, everything is all in the core building, drugs, everything's all in the core building. People
In the
drink,
court building?
yeah, people drink on the job, all that. So we made a bet on a football game. If I won, he would buy me an 18 pack. If he won, I had to buy him a gallon of um, Grey Goose.
Okay.
So I happened to win the game. So Saturday morning, we came in, we joking, it's early in the morning.
Mhm.
And he, on his way, I guess he saw a liquor store, and he was like, hey, yeah, liquor store right there. Guess what? They doing a special for a 30 pack of Bud Light for $15.99. I'm gonna get that. That's cheap. That's less money out my pocket. I was like, oh, all right. He was like, yeah, on our break, let's just ride to go get it. You know that. And then, at that time, I didn't drive into work. I rode in with somebody else who I didn't know was an actual snake that was stabbing me in the back.
Mm.
So yeah, we came in the building. He bought the 30 pack.
Mm-hmm.
Came in the building on camera. You see me carrying a 30 pack, him and I walking through the door.
That someone else bought.
Yeah, my coworker bought it for me because I won a bet.
Oh, okay.
So we had did our work that whole morning. You know, everything was smooth. So I put a 30 pack under the engineer's table.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting how we at the computer right now, doing building automation. Everybody else, all the other guys got their feet up, lounging. I'm on the computer looking at the building, trying to make sure all the equipment that we have was brought back up.
Was good.
Yeah. So this one dude, fuck it, I'm gonna say his name. Rob Jones called my chief, James Vaughn. And they quality escorted Rob Jones quality escorted himself out the locker room.
So that he wouldn't be associated
So
with.
he wouldn't be associated with it, and he took a couple guys with him. But it was 3 other guys left with me that rolled with me. We all rolled together as a team.
So they were setting you up.
Yeah, he was setting me up. And then James Vaughn came in at 12 o'clock, which we get off at 2 o'clock. So technically we was on a lunch break. And I'm on the computer working on my lunch break. The other guys got their feet up on the desk chilling. So he busted the door and go, I wasn't invited to the party. So my coworker said, good party. We don't have lunch break. What you talking about, man? So he didn't say nothing. And then he looked at me. He was like, Mr. Clark, what you been doing all day? How's everything going? What's going on? And I probably said, why are you asking me? I'm not the lead on this job. It's not my building.
Yeah.
It's not my lead on Saturday. Ask Jeff. He's the man that's in charge.
That's in charge, yeah.
Yeah, he could tell you everything was going on. Why are you asking me? So he didn't say nothing. Him and Jeff walked off. Then he came back 30 minutes later and he said, man, you need to talk. That's not cool. I said, what's not cool? He never said. And he was first thing Monday morning, yeah, come and see me. I said, all right, I meet with you every Monday morning. Every morning I had to meet with this man, which no other employees ever had to meet with this guy. It was just me. Always had to report to him.
So
in the morning.
You were being forced to have extra
Yep.
management.
In the morning I had to meet with him. And before I left, I had to meet with him.
To make sure that you didn't leave early or something? That's weird.
I had no clue.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
he wanted you to be a manager.
If he wanted me to be a manager, then that was a weird way of going about it.
Real weird.
So, yeah, so
you had to meet with him on Monday.
Yeah, I thought. And then I get this text message from him Monday morning, like 5 a.m. Long ass text message. Do not show up to work today. You're on administrative leave until further notice. So I'm calling his boss. I'm calling all around, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Why the hell am I on administrative leave?
Yeah.
And the good co-workers that get down with me, they called me and was like, yo, we was in an interview about the beer. Because they're trying to say that you was drinking on the job. And all four of us was there. And we let them know that you weren't drinking on the job. The beer was under the table. Yes, you have us on camera walking with the alcohol. So they couldn't figure it out. So what they did was created this Title 12 or something. I don't know. They always add this crap in here to make them supervisors with the small writing. So didn't know I was fired. I was on administrative leave. When I said I was on administrative leave for like months.
Paid or not paid?
Paid.
They were looking for evidence.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know. So
wow.
They were looking for evidence.
Is that why you said the other day when I was put on a mental health day and I didn't have a choice?
Exactly.
That they were looking for evidence.
They're looking for evidence. That's what I said. When they start saying mental health days or you're on administrative leave, like they really care about you, they actually looking for evidence. They trying to combat their story against your story.
Yeah.
And
it's all gonna work out though.
Of course. The creator got it all day. You just were, I just was sharing that with you. Me being older and already seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you knew what was ahead of you, so mentally you could be prepared for whatever comes.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Human to human, treating me with dignity.
Exactly.
So 2019, now we're in 2022. Where are we at with your situation?
The lawsuit is still open.
Yeah.
The courts are hiding behind whatever. They haven't made no decision.
Due to the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic. But you can evict people because you put a lot of Black people out in DC during the pandemic because a lot of Black people out of houses because they couldn't afford to pay because of the pandemic.
New York too. There was in the middle of winter, someone had reached out to me on LinkedIn. She's a veteran She was in a hotel situation, and she was out, like she had an hour to get out of her hotel. Otherwise, she was going to be arrested for being
Wow.
poor. So I didn't have the money, but I put it on my credit card. Something told me to just send her the money because I had made a post about feeding the homeless with my husband earlier this year. We hadn't gotten married yet. And I knew that it was the right thing to do in that moment. But there's a ton of people that are getting disrespected right now because they are homeless, low income.
Low income, whatever color, whatever your race is. And that's why, I say I can't be of Earth. I have to be from Pluto somewhere because the way people on Earth treat each other, this can't be right.
Yeah.
Can't be right. You know, uh, when we cut each other, we all still bleed.
Yeah.
We all need nutrition to eat.
Yeah.
To survive. We all need water. And for us to act like we're more superior because the color of our skin or because we have $1 more, this can't be right.
Yeah.
Can't be right.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, this can't be right. You know, I'm all for freedom and for anybody to think that they can rule over another person, race, creed, or color is just wrong.
Mhm.
We should be here to love and educate.
Absolutely. Last week or a week and a half ago on August 18th, we did the Real Entertainment Therapy Experience, the second version. And Lee Cockrell he just retired from head of Disney Hotels. He says, we need more teachers. We need more teachers to step up in all industries. We don't need business people. We need people to educate and help bring awareness, respect of all cultures.
Yeah, but the
More
thing
love.
is, we look at being a teacher. That's why we don't have a lot of teachers now because of the laws and the disrespect that teachers get and the amount of money
The
that
amount
you
of
pay.
money you got to pay
It's
to
not
get your license renewed when doctors and nurses and any other industry, they'll pay for you pretty much.
exactly, and you're not giving them the support. So you're not giving them support, and I get it. It's a lot of single parents, no
Mhm.
matter what their color is. A
Mhm.
lot of single parents that have to rely on the teacher to be that second parent or
Yeah.
to kind of give them that background. When you don't have a school system or a society that respects that,
Mm-hmm.
which they used to respect teachers. Now teachers mean nothing. Teachers.
And now they're zooming,
So yeah, you zoom in,
or
you don't really
the kids
care.
are on the mask and they're like, "What did you say?"
They don't really care. They don't really care if the kid finish school, just as long as you show up. What's that? No child left behind. But he is left behind if you're not making sure he has the math curriculum.
Yeah. I lost a job because of No Child Left Behind. I was offered a job, two principals and two music teachers. I taught my own creation, my own song Trigger for my Project Asthma in graduate school. I taught them the song and the choreography. They hired me, but the superintendent of the district said, due to the No Child Left Behind Act, we cannot sign off on this because you are not endorsed in music.
Right. Exactly. Like,
But that's all right. We keep moving forward.
yeah, I mean,
Obama's gonna take care of us. I know it.
the law is the law, and you can't really get behind it, and you can't get around it. Well, the problem is when you have people that don't uphold their own laws, and that's all.
That's a good point.
That's because how you work these superior courts, DC Court of Appeals, and be discriminated against.
Yeah.
You have actual judges that you walk across every day, all day,
Mm-hmm.
and to be treated like shit because you don't look a certain way or you don't speak a certain way or your sexuality is something different. Yeah. And when I came out as trans, it got worse.
It got worse for you.
Mm-hmm. I want to.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's all about it. What you want to know about it?
For those that are, maybe they're thinking that they are, and they're not sure. Maybe they're in middle school, high school. They're kind of learning about their bodies and whatnot. What's some words of encouragement you could give to them?
My encouragement is to first be honest with yourself, even though you don't know what it is. But if you know you feel different inside out, talk to your parents. If your parents are supportive, because I'm a firm believer, if you can't say it out loud, if you can't be honest about it, you shouldn't be doing it at all, no matter what it is. If your parents understand it and they can figure out how to get you help, if you don't know how to get help because you are a minor, it's places like the Whitman Walker Clinic that actually helps young people make decisions. Talk to psychiatrists.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't suggest is talking to somebody of your peers because they're going through the same thing you're going through, so they're not experienced enough. So get your advice from somebody that has been through some things. They've seen some things.
So older mentor,
Right.
maybe someone that's in college or older.
Yep. That have
good advice.
Been through some experiences where they could kind of shed some light where you can always, and I tell people all the time, mathematics is the way of the world. So we can speak different languages and we can change the spelling of words, but math is the same. 1 + 1 is always going to be 2, and nothing from nothing is always going to be 0.
Yeah.
So if nobody have anything offer, talk positive to offer you, then it's not conducive.
Yeah, don't bring it up. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good advice.
Yeah, it's not conducive. So pray on it. Talk to those who love you. And if you can't get it from the person that love you, then like I said, places like the Whitman Walker Clinic, where they actually reach out to people that's in my community. So many letters, I don't remember them all, but it's the whole alphabet. It's a lot of LBs and T's and T's and Q's. Kind of binary. What's the new one now? Because I'm older now, so I gotta keep up with a lot of these. What is it when you? What they call it when you don't identify male or female? Pansexual. So yeah, pansexual. I think I'm pansexual.
Okay.
I identify
I feel
male.
like Lady Gaga said that about herself at one point.
Yeah, I feel like
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I identify male. I think
she's done all right in her.
Yeah, I think I'm pansexual. Like I look at people for who they are.
Yeah.
And the way you treat me, I don't think, because when you get to of course, physicality and all that shit, I ain't need that for kids. I got enough kids, so that is out the window. Come at a point in my life where I'm looking for a best friend, somebody that I can end my days with.
And who is that for you? Is that on the table?
Not sure if it's on the table.
Okay. We'll do that 0.2 version next time.
I would love for it to be on the table.
But see how bright your smile got? That's love. That's love right there.
I would love for it to be on the table, and trust and believe, if those read the article, her name is actually, I did a picture of the article. Like she was really instrumental in getting the article started.
That's awesome. I love that.
Nat said that I haven't had a lot of great women in my life that really just gonna say, I'm gonna put it on me, not knowing who I am, and I wasn't the best version of myself.
Yeah, I can appreciate that too. People treat us the way we allow them to treat us based on what we teach them. We want to receive. I love that.
If you don't know exactly where you're going or who you are, it's hard to even express that to a person. Like, if you don't know who you are, how can you tell me what you need from me?
Exactly.
How can I help you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
If you can't express it, then how can I help you? I'll just be throwing stones in a river or a lake trying to figure it out. And depending on where I hit you with the rock, it may hurt. So I may say something inappropriate or say something that might be a trigger for you.
Yeah.
Not knowing, but I'm
Not
thinking I'm
knowing it.
helping you, but I
Yeah.
could be hurting you.
That's a great point. For those that have been listening, watching the show, and are feeling connected to your story and want to maybe connect with you further up, what's the best way that they can follow up with you if they're maybe needing some support?
I'm not on I don't do Instagram or Twitter or none of that. I'm too old for that. I'm not good with that.
Hey, Lee Cockrell is, I don't want to say his
I'm
age,
not
but,
good. Yeah,
but he's
just
been
not good
married
with
for
it.
50 plus years. So,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
he's
they be,
all over.
yeah, they be getting it in. I just say
He
that's just
probably
never
hires
been
out his
me.
kids to help out though.
But probably, but yeah, I mean, I got an email if someone wants to email me and
Okay.
need any advice or want to know anything about my experiences to
Okay.
try to help them further, whatever.
Okay.
Positive, move on. It's Jerome Jerome Gerard Jerrod @gmail.com.
Awesome.
So it's Jerome Gerard @gmail.com.
Can they also email you about HVAC stuff?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, you got it. As long as it's positive, I'm down for it. If it's negative, leave it at home. Keep it to yourself.
If they want to hire you to speak at their school or their business, to bring awareness and respect for diversity, can they do that as well? Can they email you about that?
Yes. They could.
You definitely need to do that because especially how the world is turning right now, you need people that have already walked through that space to help you in your business. Because if you are not being respectful of people with for myself, diagnosed depression, it's a federal mandate that you provide a workspace that is a safe and equal place for all people, regardless of their mental diagnosis, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, faith, creed, all of that. And I think that you should 100%, if you're leaning even just 1% interested, you need to reach out ASAP. Say that email one more time.
Jerome Gerard @gmail.com.
Boom. All right. And I love to do impromptu questions at the end. And I'm feeling very spiritually led that I need to move out my seat and your daughter Destiny needs to come on over here. Yep. And
She's rocking the bird though, 1997. Because if I wasn't born in
isn't she
1997,
gorgeous? Look at
she
this.
wouldn't even
Gorgeous.
be here. I
She's
know,
gorgeous.
right?
So
That's my look when I was 17 years old, right there.
this is an impromptu question. You ready?
I'm ready.
What do you want to say to Dion?
What do I want to say?
Mm-hmm. What's in your heart right now after hearing this whole thing?
I just think that, of course, you feel like for the pain, like we all hear about the things that other people go through, discrimination, all this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you personally know the person, and then they're your parent on top of it, like along with a lot of history in the past, like of course you feel bad. You know, sometimes you just want to give them a hug, even though they pretend they so strong. It's okay to let it out. It's okay just to talk about it. Okay. Don't get through it. It happens.
I told you my rock right there.
Mm-hmm.
When I came home with my first surgery, my last surgery, I don't know. Didn't have anywhere to go. Nobody wasn't really respecting where I was at in my space. And God blessed her with a place down here in Tennessee. Her and my son-in-law love him dearly. And shout out to the military because he out here doing his thing for the military, representing his country.
And that's how we connected.
Yes.
Was talking about it.
And
talking about the military.
She had they had their own place, and without second guessing, thinking about none of that. When I was in Portland, they was like, no, come into the seat.
Love
I don't
that.
give a damn how small the apartment is. We got a couch bed. Come on,
In my living room.
in the living room. Yep. Their living room was my bedroom. And they was, come on. And hey, I mean, I gotta know you, my glasses automatic tinted, but it's tears behind his eyes. As no matter what I'm going through, God always find me. And I name it destiny for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I always, in the midst of no matter what I'm going through,
Mm-hmm.
this young lady is always there. When I never used to get birthday gifts, when she was old enough in college to work and make her own money,
Uh-huh.
she showered me with so many birthday gifts.
Aww.
Where it was crazy. And I'm talking about outfits, cologne, and it wasn't just little stuff. Like she really actually put thought into everything. My clothes, the way she dressed me, all that. Like she really, yeah, just down for me. We've been down for each other, good, bad, or indifferent. Good, bad, or indifferent.
I like that, Mark. What
Yeah.
you thinking right now?
It was a lot of good, bad, or indifferent.
Mhm.
It took some time for sure.
Mhm.
It's definitely a different space now than before.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that I was
I was burned
in
out.
my own pain
Yeah.
and I missed out on her childhood.
It was like
those
8
teenage-
years.
Longer than 8 years.
Longer than 8 years.
Yeah, and I missed out on her childhood. And now here she is, a full-fledged adult.
Yeah.
And me trying to rekindle this childhood thing. And like, yeah, you grown, but you ain't grown. You still my child. But she had already gone through her own experiences in life.
Yeah.
She was already seen things that whoever she wanted to see or didn't see.
Mhm.
And yeah, it definitely a battle, and we still building
Mhm.
on our relationship. You know, I don't know how many parents out there, male or female, no matter what you're going through, you miss those years between 4 and 18, which are the pivotal years for a child as far as maturing and
Yeah.
education and putting your imprint as far as love and education on them.
Mhm.
And you miss that, and you just kind of like a part-time parent or the financial parent.
Yeah.
You think it because you just paying child support that that's enough, but it was a long road. It has not. That is not enough. Missed out on a lot of hugs. I missed out on a lot of graduations. Missed out on a lot of plays, cheers, birthday parties, big moments in her life as a kid that she seen as a big moment.
Mhm.
I missed out on a lot of that. And she has right to have her pain.
Mhm.
There's no kid deserves to not have their parent, especially when they're alive.
But she's here. She
And
didn't
we are-
reject you.
She did not. We are here working.
That's
We're doing
right.
the work. We're doing the work. We definitely doing the work.
Can I ask you something, Destiny? What was it like growing up with your mom and then the transitioning experience for you?
I don't really think it was a big change for me because he always been the same thing no matter what. So which like he always say, what I do sexually is it's none of my business how to sleep with you and stuff. It's like
That's a
but
good point. That's
still
a real
you're
good point.
still the same person to me that you always was. You look the same my whole life, nothing really changed.
No change.
Oh,
The hardest part is me having a kid. Or having the line is the weird thing.
With
You
you
know.
having a kid? What
With me
Yeah,
having a kid,
because-
like understanding like oh, babies come from here, so where's yours and how is your how is it all connected?
describing it to your
How is your relationship connected to each other? Because that's deep.
that yeah.
It's not
That's a
mom
good
or dad.
point. Yeah. And then grandma or grandpa, like
Mhm.
identifying label names.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part. But I'm not even it's not even hard because she's asked a couple times, but like mostly she don't ask. So it's just so far now. But
Mm-hmm.
it's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still the same relationship to me. So it wasn't like you went from this to this. It was always like you was there. So I mean my whole life. It was my whole life. So that's all right now.
Living her whole life.
So estranged families or disconnected families that might be listening to the show right now that are wanting to get reconnected, what is, either one of you can answer this. What is some advice to build that bridge to start the reconnection process?
Understanding that we're human first.
Mm-hmm.
There's no handbook to life, and accepting a person or situation for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Growing from it. Every situation is a learning situation. So just taking what you learn and using it to grow for
Mhm.
yourself. And I know we like to try to change the other person, but you can't change other people. You can only change yourself.
Mm,
Yeah.
so good. That's so good.
So yeah, open heart and open mind
Mm-hmm.
and willing to meet people in the middle. And in order for you to do that, you have to be in your spirituality and know exactly who you are and what type of person you want to be. Not just to yourself, but to other people, how you want to present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, me, being male now, I, yeah, I do check mail,
Mm-hmm.
but it's I don't want you to see that. I want you to see Dion. My name is Dion.
Yeah.
And I just want you to see Dion and see how big my heart is. And that when I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you in a good place, not to hurt you or harm you or take from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I want to be viewed. Sometimes it's overbearing when you're a parent. It's, any parent always, if you, any parent out there that's listening, if you don't want your child to be better than you are, then yeah, something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I definitely want my daughter to be better than me.
Something is wrong
And
with
I
you.
always tell her that.
If you don't want your kid, I don't care, male, female, cat, or dog, you don't want them to be better than you, there's something is wrong with you. You might need to pray to God or figure out where you at with this or why you heal, why you hurting so much that you put inflicting all this pain on your kid. So you need to figure that out.
Right. And it's just like even still with like D not being like in my life when I was a kid, that made me see like my relationship with my husband and my relationship with my daughter differently because when I had my daughter, me and my daughter's father at the time we weren't together. So we did break up and that's how he ended up in the military. So we had our space. But then realizing I'm not gonna of course it was like both of us, but I had to realize like my harm in the situation and what I was doing to make it bad. So when he went away, that was kind of like a clarity moment for me. Like, oh, you're just repeating the same cycle that you went through as a kid and having to choose between you're giving, not that she would have to choose, but putting it in a way like, oh, you got to choose between your mom and dad because they can't figure it out for you. But you're only a kid in the situation. So it's just like, not repeating the cycle again. So being able to live with, marry my husband, my daughter's dad, and create our own family, like the creator intended. And that's like one of my biggest blessings. And that's like the favorite part, like of being me. Like I love taking care of my husband, and I love taking care of my daughter. So,
Any message you want to send to your husband?
yes, I can't wait till you come home. I'm sad you missed my birthday, but it's cool.
We're gonna celebrate together.
Yeah,
We'll send you photos.
definitely. But yeah, just keep your head up.
That's right. All right. Any last words of advice for anything or any last thoughts before we close out the show?
No, just keep going and don't give up.
Love that.
There's always a rainbow on the other side of the rainy cloud.
Love that. It's a wrap, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.